are you getting audio on speed? Chip. Yes. All right. Chip. Yes. You roll on this? He's rolling. No, he's not. I told him.
I'm going to start. Good, Rich.
Yeah. Kirk, tough game. Couple more interceptions. What can you tell us about what happened on those two passes?
Yeah, the first one, I felt like my options to the right were covered, and I thought to run it. Didn't feel like I had a window to run it, and then essentially need to throw it away there. Need to just put it in the bleachers and put it over Ryan Grant's head. So that's something that was disappointing. And then the second one, I felt like we needed a shot play to get back in the game. I felt like we needed to take something and try to put one out there. And obviously didn't like the result, but that was one where earlier in the game, or when you're in the game in a tighter game, you would never force it down the field like that. But the situation, I started to feel like maybe I needed to push it down the field more and see if we could get a spark, get something to get us going.
Kirk, third quarters again. It's just been a really bad theme for this team all season.
I don't know what the deal is. I mean, we talked about it the last several weeks. We've gone in at halftime saying, hey, the guys, the third quarter's got to be better. We've at halftime been locked in. We've got plays coming out that we feel good about. We're reiterating it to one another how we have to come out firing on all cylinders. So it's not for lack of emphasis. It's not for lack of awareness. But for whatever reason, it's not happening, and that's something we need to improve upon, because if you can't play all four quarters at a high level, you're going to have a hard time winning. But we've shown what we're capable of when we are firing on all cylinders, and so it's so important not let that third quarter slip.
You talked about moving past making bad decisions and being easier on yourself on not feeling like you've had to do too much. And you said that you wanted to take the shot play downfield, and it's easy to look back at it, but those types of decisions, when they come back to bite you, is it frustrating when you feel like you've moved past that, but then it pops up again?
Well, it's a process, but I guess the result ends up kind of like a punt. I mean, the ball's thrown deep, catch it right where he caught it is where they get the ball. I mean, if we don't complete the pass there, we end up punting it anyways. But I'll definitely go back and watch the film and say, where could I have gone with the football? What could I have done better? And I certainly don't want to be throwing, interceptions.
We know the guys you're missing on the offensive line, but what were the reasons the run game just couldn't get on track 30 yards or so?
Yeah, the only thing I can say, I don't have a great answer for you, is just that, when you have to get away from the run game in the second half, when you get down by a few scores and you run out of time, it's impossible to put up good numbers. But prior to that point, I really don't know. It's a combination of everybody's got to be working together, all 11 guys, and for whatever reason, it hasn't happened at the level we want it to. But when you can't run the ball late in the game, it certainly takes away from your ability to show off a good, strong running game.
Yeah, Jay, expressed confidence in you again here, right, a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
But are you starting to get concerned that multiple interception games can't go on forever? Right. At least I'm thinking about replacing.
Yeah, you can't doubt. I mean, if I start to doubt, then I'm not going to ever be able to get to the level I want to go. So I just got to keep going, learn from mistakes. The key is to identify, what's the issue and get it corrected. The more I play, the more I'll learn. But no, if I start to question or doubt, we might as well just throw in the towel. So I gotta stay positive and keep working and keep believing.
Kirk, going back to the offensive line and, obviously lacking 3 of your opening day starters. That said, it seemed like you had, a decent amount of time of protection. Could you speak about the protection you did get throwing the ball and how you feel they did short-staffed? Yeah,
against a good defensive line, I thought they did a really good job, and I was pleased with the whole offensive line. And, they'll keep doing their part, and I got to do my part, and we've all got a job to do. And I thought that Ty Nsekes and Josh Laribas and Spencer Long, these guys who are a little newer to the rotation, stepped up and have done a good job.
Anyone else?
Yeah, big picture, 2-4 now. You got one more game before the bye week. Where is the state of this team emotionally and mentally right now?
Well, I mean, in the NFL, you're going to have ups and downs. You're going to have setbacks. You're going to have tough losses, great wins. it's all over the map. So this is nothing new to these guys. We feel like, we'll just get back. You got to be mentally, physically, emotionally tough, and keep going, keep pushing. And the thing about this league is that if you do put a win together, everybody's feeling the complete opposite. So one win can really change the tide quickly.
A good running game helps any team on offense, but we've seen with this team it's critical to the success, and when that falls apart, it's tough to come back when you have to throw the ball 40, 45 times a game. In your head, how do you work through that when the run game does start to fall apart, and do you feel that pressure?
No, I think it's just you do what you're called upon to do, and each game is going to call for different opportunities, different plays, different situations, and whatever the situation is, you gotta step up. So I'll be. We said earlier in the year we ran the ball really well in the first couple games. That it's not going to be like this every game. We're going to have games where we have to do it through the air, and week to week it's different. But just keep going and find ways to correct mistakes.
Kirk, we talk about interceptions, but do you find it equally frustrating when you feel like you've got a guy open and you miss him, overthrow him, underthrow him, and what's going on with that?
Sure. Yeah, no, it is frustrating, and that probably is when I go back and critique myself. That's to me, just as important as the turnovers, because a lot of turnovers aren't necessarily all on just a bad decision or a bad throw. Sometimes it's the situation in the game or other things happen. There are other moving parts. But when you miss some throws that you feel like you can hit or should hit or are capable of hitting, that's tough. And there were certainly a couple today that I want back.
Are there other areas besides the turnovers that you yourself, when you go back and watch film, say, I have to be better in that area, I have to do this correctly for me to take the next step?
I think situational awareness is a big deal. When you look at the first interception, it was second and something like 2nd and 10, 2nd and 8, backed up in our own territory. You can play conservatively there and throw the ball out of bounds, and I think there's a level of maybe I'm trying to find a completion as many times as I possibly can, where maybe the better option is to not try to find a completion if you don't see one and find an incompletion out of bounds. So, that's, situational awareness would be the answer to your question, to just get better. And that comes with time. That comes with playing and experience. And that's something that I do believe I will improve upon and can improve upon. It's not something where I look and go, oh, my goodness, I can't get better at this. I think that's something that I can and will get better at.
Thanks, Kirk.
Thank you.